Hey folks, it's Sty. Boy, I'm glad to have you along on this one. This is waterfall number 2 today. The first one was Kimball Falls, which was located in a little town park. Drive right in, park, you walk about 300 feet, cross a little footbridge, there's the waterfalls, is right there. A waterfall you could go visit almost every day. Heck, if you live close to that little town, you could go have your lunches there every day. It's so easy to get to. This falls is called Spring Camp Falls. Now this one I don't think I gotta worry about running into people. If any more than one vehicle comes in here, we're gonna have a problem. Somebody's gonna be backing up. Oh Lord, I think it's about the length of a football field before a third vehicle would be able to get off to the side enough to let one of us out. I didn't film coming in here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys with me down to the falls. I can hear them from here. This falls, usually you cannot hear it from up here, but boy, you can hear it just roaring down there. So it's going to be a nice trip down there today. The trail might be a little iffy, probably a little mucky, but I'll get down there. We'll get down there. But what I'm going to do is after I go down to the falls, after I do that video there, this video is going to tend to be long because it just requires it, okay? Because when I get back from the falls up here to the truck, I'm going to try, and I mean try, no guarantees, but I'm going to try videoing my trip back out so that you can see what I had to drive through coming in. So if you just want to watch it till the end of the falls, I understand that. But if you're interested on how tough it is to get in here to see these falls, stick it all the way through and watch the tail end of the video and catch the video on the ride out of here. It's quite the ride. Now if you've got, a lot of people would say, oh, Sty, you're taking your nice King Ranch through them roads. Well, I'll tell you what, if I don't own a truck that'll take me where I want to go, I don't want that truck. So, no, this King Ranch will do just fine through this stuff. There was a couple of spots I had to suck in the mirrors because it got so narrow. But it'll be an interesting ride out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the camera for a moment, and then I'm going to start it up again, and I'm going to show you where I'm parked. This is the trailhead, and you'll see what I mean. There is no room up here. So let's get going. I'm going to video this, and then I'm going to video myself heading down the trail. I haven't a clue what I'm going to run into down this trail. Like I said, it's wet and muddy back in here, so could be interesting. It's quite a big gorge that I got to go down into, so we'll see what happens. So let's get going. So down in there is where I'm talking about that you can get off to the side to let a vehicle in. But that's a big mud hole down there. So you'd have to pull off into that muck off to the side to let a vehicle get out. That's only 2 vehicles wide right in that spot down there. And that's the widest spot coming all the way in here, and it's about 1.5 miles. And you'll see on the tail end of this video what I'm talking about. But you come on up this hill, and I'll walk over here a little bit so that you can get a good view of what happens when you come up this hill. You come up this hill, and that's what you've got. You've got 2 vehicles with period. That's all you're going to get in here is 2 vehicles. There's no wait. This little spot back here, I had Jimmy back and forth 4 times to get my truck turned around so I could back into that spot where I'm sitting. And it's rough in here. It is really rough. Now you wouldn't want to come in here with a car. You're going to tear your exhaust out or an axle, because it's all these huge rocks. This big one sticking out of the ground here. I don't know if you can see it because of the sunlight, but this is all heavy rock sticking out of the ground here. All in here. But this is just barely wide enough to get another vehicle in here. That's it. And yeah, the truck doesn't look like it's too bad for the trip in here. A lot of low hanging branches, trees sticking out over the road. Yeah, it's a rough ride in. And like I said, I'll show you that at the end of the video. I'll sneak through here. See, now my truck's parked right up against the woods here. And there's the trailhead. Spring Camp Falls. And that's the trail going in. It looks better on camera than it does in real life, I guarantee you. But you can see, there's my truck, there's the trailhead. That's how much room you got, and then space for one more vehicle. Should prove to be interesting. So we're going to be heading down that trail in just a moment, and let's see what this trip's going to be like. This is going to be the more adventurous falls of the day, so let's hit it and have some fun. Okay, I'm going to be heading down the trail here to the falls, and I don't know how long I'm going to video because the trail isn't very improved. I mean, you can tell it's had some foot traffic, but it's a pretty rough trail. I'd hate to have to bushwhack through this stuff because it's just thick in here. I can see the rock down at the gorge walls down there. So this should prove to be interesting getting down here. This is one of those little hidden jewels again. You come out on top of these falls, you'd never get way down in the gorge. Little risky. It's steep. It's not a long trail in here. That's not a problem at all. It's just that it's steep and the ground's a little unstable. I want to really watch where I'm walking. You wouldn't want to slip off of this bugger. Just trying to figure out the best route here. A lot of these rocks are moss covered, so you got to be careful. This gorge is such that it's tough to get. You have to go way down river to get back up here to see the falls from down below. stuck way the back, in the back country here. No easy way to get to it. That's why I said it's kind of like a little hidden jewel up here in northern Wisconsin. I talked to a lot of people and well, hi folks. Hope you don't mind, I'm documenting for my YouTube channel. Yeah, I'll probably have to pull out so you can turn around.
I just stayed down at the tunnel down there.
Oh, did you?
I got a minivan.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know it was that bad.
It's really rough at the top.
So, yeah, I'm going to see if I can try to turn around down there. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It is. It's pretty well hidden back here.
Yes, it is. I didn't realize it. If I knew that, I'd turn around before.
Yeah. But you'll be one of the few that say, well, I got back there.
Yeah. I hope I can make it back.
Yeah. Hey. I'll be around for a little while. I'll head out and make sure that you guys make it out. Yeah. That's pretty much what I'm doing. It's really nice down here. You can get down on the flat right on top of the falls. Yeah, as I told you folks, it's not often you're going to get people back here, but we do have somebody back here. Picking up cigarette butts. We're going to walk right down, get right down here on the flat. There you are upstream. That's looking down the falls. Just absolutely beautiful back here. It was a half-hour drive from Kimball Falls down to here, and I would say at least 70% of it was all back gravel roads, so it's not as if it's easy getting in here, but definitely worth it. So folks, I think what I'll do is I'll head up to the truck and I'll get the camera set up for the ride out. I'm going to let these folks head out ahead of me in case they have problems getting out, and I want to make sure that they can get out of here okay. They said that they came in a minivan, so that's a little iffy. That was brave of them. Absolutely beautiful. Hate to leave, but when you got 5 waterfalls you want to hit in a day, can't hang around too long at each one. So that's Spring Camp Falls. Don't know if you can see it or not, but there's another cigarette butt. I am a smoker, but you will never, ever a cigarette butt out in the outdoors. They don't belong here. If you're going to smoke in the outdoors, you should put your cigarette out safely and put the cigarette butt in your pocket. Take it back out where you brought it from. It does not belong out here in the outdoors. But this is beautiful back in here. So I'm going to work my way back up to the truck, get ready to make the drive out. Yeah, it's beautiful. You could explore it all over down in the woods here and the shoreline for a ways. And the trail wasn't bad. It's a little damp, but it's not bad. At least the rocks are nice and dry. You get these big flat rocks, and if they're wet, you can go for quite a ride. But there you are, folks. That was Spring Camp Falls. It was worth the drive. We'll head on out of here. And what I'll do is we're going to call this the end of the falls portion of the trip. And then the next portion here in this video is going to be the ride out. And there you can see the truck just about parked in the trail. Excuse me. So here we are back at the truck, and I'll pick it up when I get inside and get the camera mounted for the trip out. Well, I offered to let these folks go out ahead of me with their minivan, just in case they get hung up. He's jimmying it around. He's seems to be getting it in order. I got to try to get around this one big rock here. I should be able to take my truck out of four-wheel. And we're going to head on out. Hopefully I'll be able to stabilize this video a little bit. This is a big mud hole, and they pulled down as far as the mud hole here, and then this is where he managed to jimmy around enough he got himself going. He did sound a little concerned about the fact that he even gave it a try coming in here. This is going to shake the camera pretty good because the road is very rough. There's a lot of people that would say, no way am I driving through this stuff. Not with my vehicle. Mud hole here. He's a brave one coming in here with his minivan. And like I told him, I said, well, at least you'll be amongst the folks that say, well, I did it. I got in there. Now, like I had said earlier, this is 1.5 miles heading out of here, and it's got these mud holes, several of them on the way out. At least the bottom of this road is solid. So you get in those mucky mud holes, you don't have to worry about it too much as long as you keep moving. You get these narrow spots where trees have come down and someone got in here with a saw and managed to clear the road enough to be able to drive through. It's a beautiful day right now. It's only 68 degrees, low humidity, very comfortable. I would have liked to have spent more time out there at Spring Camp Falls, but like I had said, I've got so many falls I want to try to hit today And in order to hit all those falls, I can't spend too much time at each one. Oh yeah, there's a branch. Don't scratch my King Ranch. Well, if this fella drives like he is right now, he should be able to get out of here unscathed. And in the worst case, I could throw a strap on his minivan and pull him out backwards. If he gets himself stuck in one of these mud holes there, he just went through a good one. At least he hit it pretty fast. I do have to say, Stye's Ride has treated him very well. I'm glad I made the investment in this truck. Not only is it comfortable, but it's very functional. There's another branch over the road. You have to see now. Occasionally you'll find a spot like this that's open. Well, in between these spots, which are probably 3-4 football fields apart, somebody's going to have to back up that full distance to get to one of those spots to let anybody else around. Because the sides of this road, even in this nice dry area, there's one spot here you could probably pull off partially onto it, but 90% of this, the ditch line is just soft, super soft muck. And in that muck are big rocks. There's one right there. You get down in that muck, get hung up on one of them rocks, you ain't getting out of there without potentially breaking an axle. So yeah, see now, I would come down here with an older two-wheel drive vehicle, but he's got himself a pretty nice minivan there. I don't know that I would have wanted to bang that thing around out here on this trail. But that's why this falls evidently doesn't get a lot of visitors. Now, I've heard that a lot of people will park way up on the end and they'll hike this 1.5 miles in instead of driving their vehicles down here. So that makes sense. I just noticed how much this camera's vibrating. So hopefully my stabilization program on my computer will soften this ride out a little bit. Those folks are from Milwaukee, and from what I gathered, and there's one of the pullover areas, but for them to come up here and get down this trail, that's going to be quite an adventure for them. They're probably wondering, what in the world did we get ourselves into? And for us folks that live up here, well, it's an everyday occurrence. Hey, there's a couple of tire tracks through the woods. Let's take a run down there, check it out. Now, like I said, this is going to be a very long video because of this ride out, so that you can see what it takes just to get into these falls. And it's a nice pullover area here, but don't feel bad if you skip the tail end of this video and don't take the ride all the way out. For you folks that are going to jump off early, thanks for watching. Hey, appreciate a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, jump on subscribe so that you can hit the notification button. Then you can be sure to be notified whenever I put something new up. And like I was saying, this is the second falls today. This is the 5th falls in 2 days. And I've got 3 more falls on my list. Now, does that mean I'm going to hit all 3 of them? Well, that's questionable. I'm surprised he went through that mud instead of around it, because you could get around that. He drove through it. Yeah, he probably figures, old style, just throw a strap on it and pull me out. That means I got to walk in the mud up to my ankles. There's a good mud hole right up ahead here that we'll see how he does going through this one. Oh yeah, he's doing good. This one's got a lot of loose rock in it. I'm just glad that I only had 1 vehicle come in here, because like I had said, if we got 3 in here, it would have been a little tricky getting out of here, getting everything turned around up on the other end. But as you can tell, this is quite a ride back in here. I know a lot of people would say, just to see a waterfall? Well, I'll tell you what, that waterfall's worth it. Here we are, we're at the turnoff onto the main gravel road. So that's it. That's the ride going to that falls. So I'm going to turn this camera around. Well, folks, that was Spring Camp Falls. A little bit of a ride in and out of that place, but the falls was worth it. That's one of those very unique kind of waterfalls that you got to work a little to get into it, and when you get there, you're pleasantly surprised. Well, that was a good trip. This video is a little bit long because of the ride out, so I hope you guys stuck with me all the way through, even the ride coming out. Love having you along. So I don't know what to say except that I've got another falls to get to. It's still early in the day. I think I can hit the other 3 possibly. Now, the next falls I'm going to is, again, I think it's in a town park again. A different falls in a different town park, but then there's a falls after that that's not too far out of town. Then number 5 on my list is a different story, if I can even find it. It's a difficult one to find. Now, that falls, from what I understand, it's got a 2-wheel path worse than the one we just came down. I'll have to take a good look at it and decide whether I'm driving in there or hiking in there. If I got to hike in there, that's about a 3.5, 4 mile round trip down in there and back to see that waterfall. And that's why it's my last fall of the day, because I'll have a turnaround time. If I don't get down there by a specific time, then I'll just turn around, come back, and that falls will have to go to a different day. But I'm going to get on the road and we're going to hit the next waterfall. And I'll see you all in that next video with that next waterfall. And that's Spring Camp Waterfall for you. I'm just happy as can be today. So, until the next waterfall, you all have a nice day. Bye-bye.